Hi guys and welcome to the Aging Games. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about negativity and how to put a stop to it once and for all. And I know this may not specifically relate to anti-aging, but it does really, because if you constantly have negative thoughts and negative views, then that's going to reflect on the aging process and it will definitely make you age faster, and the bitterness and everything will show up on the face eventually. What compelled me to do this video is I did a Facebook post a couple of days ago, and it was just something that kind of needed to be said that was brewing up inside of me for a while. And once I posted this post on Facebook, I got a lot of really positive feedback, and I felt like a lot of people could resonate to what I was saying. So I thought that it would be really good to share my thoughts on this in a video format as well, so we can see if there are other people on the same page as me. So basically what triggered this for me was, 2020 was a very negative year. I'm sure everyone will agree with that. It was very difficult and very tough on everyone, and we all went through a lot of changes and a lot of challenges personally and on a global scale, most definitely. And what I found myself in the past year is that I got really sucked into the dark side of everything that's happening. Without getting into too much detail, just being part of the groups and having kind of an alternative view of what's taking place in the world, and just every day looking at the bad news and reading more horrible news, and then feeling this real strong urge that the worse the news is, the more I have to share it, the more people I have to share it with. And even at night, where I would normally, go to bed and, watch something funny on my iPad or listen to a meditation or an audio book, like I kind of got sucked into going back on Facebook, checking the groups one more time and seeing what horrible thing happened, what things are taking place here, what's happening in this country, what kind of lockdowns, what new regulations are coming in, what's happening with all of these things that's going on. And of course I was having a hard time sleeping, and also it was just affecting my state of being. And with my husband as well, we were just every day talking about the latest news and what's happening, and also with my friends. And I just kind of felt myself spiraling out of control and just going down this rabbit hole. And I just didn't like myself. I just didn't like how I was feeling all the time. I was going to bed shaking with anger and feeling helpless and hopeless, like I can't change the situation. And at the same time, I felt like it was my job to wake people up, to tell people what's actually happening, and especially the people that are closest to me, like family and loved ones and friends, close friends on Facebook. I really felt like I need to let them know what's happening and to wake them up. But what I realized after a year of doing this and seeing my emotional health, my mental health, and my physical health suffer because of all this negative information that I was just absorbing like a sponge, is that I actually didn't wake anybody up. I don't think I've changed anyone's mind as to what's actually happening. I was preaching to the choir, which is fine, because in one way I felt connected to all these people on Facebook. I felt closer to some total strangers than some members of my own family, because I felt like, okay, they get it, they understand it, they think like me. And that was so important to me. To have this outlet on Facebook with like-minded people was really important, because I didn't feel like I was alone. But at the same time, even when you're looking at the alternative views and you're looking at the videos and the information, the articles, the podcasts, everything else, it's all doom and gloom. There's no solution. They tell you what's happening. And even if you hear about these things happening over and over and over again, and you're sharing the same information over again, nothing's actually changed. And is this the way to change things? Because all I'm seeing is that everyone's getting sucked into this deep darkness. Doesn't matter what side you're on or what you believe regarding the pandemic or what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter which side you're on or with the election that was taking place. It was all just getting so much. And I could see that there was so much tension. So many people were leaving Facebook because they couldn't handle it anymore. Other people were getting banned or shadow banned. So just this turmoil happening on social media, instead of being this happy place, it just became really, really toxic. And it was just last Sunday that I came to this realization, and I thought, okay, stop, enough. I cannot do this anymore, because it was like an addiction. You get addicted to the negative things, to reading more negative stuff and seeing more negative stuff, and it's toxic. It's toxic like nothing else. And I felt really bad because I was dragging down people with me, and the people that didn't want to come down with me, I was resentful and I was getting angry even at family members, at friends who weren't thinking like me, because it's like, wake up, how can you not see what's happening? And it was so frustrating for me. Last year, I've pretty much had arguments or fights, and I lost a lot of friends, even family members that just couldn't take the way that I think. And so this Sunday, I think I was listening to a podcast or something, but something with positive vibes. And oh, I know what it was. It was actually, I was listening to a Hungarian, I think he's a doctor, doing this show on YouTube, and it was all about just positive vibes and how to attract more positive things into your life and how to change the way you're thinking. And even, for example, just bringing up the vaccine, the people that really believe in it, that it's going to help them, it's really going to help them. And then the people who really believe it's going to harm them, it's going to harm them. So it all starts in your mind. And this was like a really important turning point for me. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to shut it all down. I'm going to stop visiting the groups. I'm going to stop interacting with posts that are negative, and I'm just going to turn a new leaf. And I wrote, just for accountability, I wrote a very long post about this on Facebook and explained what I've been going through, what I'm feeling, and what's happening in my life, and why, I don't want people to get offended that I won't be interacting so much with them or with their posts, or also not be as active in the groups. And I wanted people to understand why. And I also was thinking that rather than sharing the negative info, sharing the negative stuff, what would happen if we started sharing positive things? What would happen if we all started having more positive thoughts and sharing those with others? And what if we became like a light in someone else's life instead of more darkness? Because there's already so much darkness, there's so much pain, there's so much suffering, so much uncertainty. Why feed into that? Why make it worse? So, I turned a new leaf. I started listening to a lot more meditations. I started listening to positive music, watching positive shows, listening to positive podcasts on how to manifest things that you really want in your life. And the funny thing is, within 24 hours, literally my life started to change completely. And all these things that have been kind of blocked, I almost felt like there was like this blockage around me from attracting the things that I really wanted, that I desperately craved. And all of a sudden, just Monday, waking up and all these fantastic things started happening. And then I realized that it's really so simple. It just needs to start in your mind. And once you change your mindset, then everything changes around you. Your whole world changes, and then the people start changing around you. So what if we could make a much larger impact by just changing our thoughts and by changing our focus, and instead of focusing on how many people are dying, how many people are sick, how many people are infected, what's happening in the world, how many places are shut down, why can't I go to the restaurants, why can't I go out, why can't I travel, how am I ever going to be able to travel again, what is the future for us? Instead of focusing on that, what about just living in the now, living in today, and focusing on all the wonderful things that are happening to us today, that we can be grateful for, that we can be thankful for? Because I think gratitude is so important. And whenever we give thanks for the good things in our lives, then we attract more of the same. And when we focus on the negative things, then again, we attract more of the same. That's how the law of attraction works. And it does work. And I'm proof of that. So looking back at 2020, it was a very tough year. It was full of challenges, full of uncertainty. I didn't get to be with my family. I couldn't travel. We were locked up for many months, couldn't even go outside to walk. It was a really tough time. And for me, I'm such a free spirit. I need to be out there. I need to be hiking, swimming, going. I rarely ever stay home. So it was a difficult time for me, and I had to kind of turn inward and reflect. And instead of getting depressed, I actually started to do some really creative and productive things. One of them was starting this channel and also writing my book. And so, I did all these things that I would not have been able to do, or I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have had the motivation to do had this whole pandemic thing not happened. So even though it was a very tough year, and I'll always look back on 2020 and remember all the tough times as well, but I will remember also the positive things that came out of that. It's always duality. There's always two sides to everything, and we have to experience all these things as human beings, or having this human experience that we're having right now. We have to experience the dark in order to appreciate the light. Just to take this over to, for example, relationships, just to talk about relationships for a second, because again, whatever we focus on will multiply, will grow, will amplify. When it comes to relationships, a lot of people tend to make that mistake. I'm focusing on the challenges in the relationship. I'm focusing on the faults of the other person in the relationship. And it's very easy to do that because, we're all perfect, and obviously our significant others are not. Just to give you an example, I was in this group a support group for wives with husbands who suffer from Asperger's. And it's a very negative group. And I'm not even sure why I joined or why I engaged in the posts. But last week something happened. This this young lady posted in there and said, what are the positive traits that your husband has suffering from Asperger's? And she noted a few things, and I chimed in, and I could think of a lot of different things that are positive about my husband. Then I noted all these things down. I'm just mentioning this because sometimes my husband does watch my videos so that he knows there's a good side to this. So I posted a few positive things that I'm very happy about with my Asperger's husband, like how he takes care of us, how intelligent he is, how meticulous he is, how he sticks to something, that he's very dedicated to, how faithful, and just a lot of little things like that. So then the women started chiming in, and everyone's like, how can you say that? My husband had 0 positive traits. It's all bad. He's so mentally abusive. He's so horrible to me. And all the comments were like this. And they were calling this woman a troll and telling her to get out of the group because this is a support group for women that are just so abused. And I was like, my God, this is absolutely crazy. Like, here's someone trying to bring a positive vibe into this really dark, negative group. And everyone's like just beating up on her and going crazy on her, like, how dare you say something positive? And in this group, a lot of the women have been like divorced from their aspy husbands for 10 years, and they're still in this group, and they're still venting and ranting and going on and playing the victim, and poor me, and my life is so horrible. And I just said, oh my God, this is absolutely crazy. Like, these women are just feeding this negativity in each other, and instead of working on their marriages or trying to make it better, like, they're literally coming on here to talk about like intimate details of their sex lives, or posting private texts that they share with their husband. Like, why would you ever put that out there? Like, this is such a private issue. So this really upset me, and I just deleted my post, and I left the group, and I left other groups similar to this one as well. Because will your marriage actually get better? Will your relationship improve if you're venting all the time, if you're concentrating on the bad things all the time? Like, how about taking 3 or 5 or 10 things each day that you're thankful for in your relationship? Look at the nice things that your husband or wife or your significant other is doing for you, and try to focus on those things. And if you focus on those things and you appreciate those things and you let him know how happy you are that he does this little thing for you, then he's going to do more of that. It's just how the universe works. It's the cycle of life. It's the cycle of the universe. I mean, the more you put out there, the more you're going to get back. So from now on, guys, I'm all about the positive vibes. I really hope that I can keep this up, and I really hope that I don't get sucked into the darkness. Like I said, it was like a deep, deep awakening for me, and I can feel the shift in my body, and I can just feel the shift in myself, that I'm just ready to attract abundance and positivity and good things and positive people into my environment. And that just fills me with so much joy and so much hope. And also for the world, I really trust that if enough of us start concentrating on the good things, then we can somehow shift all this evil stuff that's happening. Because in the end, if we are the creators of our own reality, then this works on a global scale as well. So of course it starts with you, with finding the peace and the positivity within yourself, but then the next step is to bring it into the family, and then into your city, and onto a global scale. And I would love to see if more of us joined together and adopted this kind of philosophy. I would love to see how we could change the whole course of what's happening right now. So guys, thank you so much for listening to this video. If you have anything to add or any questions or anything from me, please always feel free to comment below. Please also don't forget to check out my new anti-aging guide below with over 100 anti-aging tips and hacks. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and to hit the little bell so you get notifications every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a fantastic, positive day.